The past several years have not been easy for most of us, but the resilience of the human spirit is remarkable. All around the Hoosier State, we've found examples of communities, individuals, and companies who've pulled together in tough times to energize business, education, and the arts. What's the secret to their success? This week we're in Union City, a Randolph County community at the Ohio state line. The town, which straddles the Indiana-Ohio border, was founded in 1849 at the juncture of 5 railway lines. Railcar carriage and automotive manufacturing grew up around the rail network, and the communities prospered for nearly 150 years. But in the early 1990s, many good jobs moved away. Mayor Brian Conklin remembers it well.
Here's an article from the Indianapolis Star in 1992, The Decline of a Small Town, an American Tragedy. This is when it really began, where we had to make a change.
So how did you start?
We had to reinvent ourselves. We had to take stock of our assets, a trained and willing workforce, the great school system that we've had, an infrastructure that was built by a prosperous community. Plus we have also easy access to agricultural products, railroads, and highways. Even the fact that this is one of the windiest places in Indiana helped us. With experience working with Cardinal Ethanol, IMCO, and Frank Miller Lumber, we're building a reputation as a green community that supports alternative energy growth. That documentary was produced in 2013. And our history shows that our founding fathers and mothers gave us a strong community and also gave us a challenge. We relied heavily on a manufacturing base and we needed to diversify. And today, we're creating a community where people will want to live, work, and play. The key element is we must empower our citizens. We need them to bring their passions, energy, and efforts to reinvent our community.
Planning is something that Stiller really brought home to us, because from that grew our comprehensive plan and our housing plan and our economic development plan that we have now. And when you have those plans ready, when you've done all that groundwork, when the funding opportunities come up or some other opportunity, you have that plan right there you can pick up and say, yes, we're ready to go.
Union City being the second largest incorporated city and population base for the county, we need and they want to and we want to collaborate with Union City on this project and other projects, and they've got an opportunity to employ more people and beyond Union City. The Stellar Project's looking for quality of life issues, which should bring folks to Union City and Randolph County as a whole. So we're looking forward to them being successful in that.
The City of Union City has been a terrific partner with the EDC as we continue to move the county forward in a very strategic and progressive manner. And they certainly have brought great leadership and great levels of excellence, if you will, and certainly I believe brings great value not only to Randolph County, but certainly East Central Indiana and our region that also includes our neighbors in Ohio.
So we're able to utilize both state, Indiana and Ohio, are both counties, and also are both cities to work together in regards to workforce development, economic development, and our directors on both sides have worked together in trying to keep businesses here and bring businesses here. With that, we work with different ideas of workforce development from the high school ages on up until the fact that you might be unemployed and need to find more jobs. With that program, we worked with the schools and incorporated their ideas of what they thought would help us here in our communities.
Strengthening the business culture has been a key element in improving the quality of life for all. Rob Likens is the president of Eco Vehicle Systems.
I remember telling my mom, Mom, I'm going to college, I'm never coming back to this town. You know, I'll come back visit once in a while, I'm going to the big city, I'm getting out of here, there's nothing here. Watch what you ask for, because that 1992, that's when I graduated from college. You know, that's when the downfall started. My wife and I did move to Indianapolis then and got a taste of the big city, and always knew when we had children we wanted to move back here, and that's what we ended up doing. And when we came back, you know, I looked around, started seeing some progress. You know, we formed a group at that time called the Union City Community Economic Development Committee, and it was specifically to do really what's happened, to try to put together economic development initiatives, to try to put quality of life initiatives together to draw people to Union City. You know, from a business standpoint, for me, to be able to come back to my hometown after college and invest and then create jobs in my hometown, there's nothing better. We are in the middle of a major expansion now. We will be creating lots more jobs here starting this fall. And some of those stellar initiatives that are out there will certainly lead to quality of life so we can draw a good workforce, keep good employees here. So it all just kind of ties together at the end of the day.
The revival of Union City's economy rests on the foundation of loyalty, sacrifice, and determination. One of the pillars of this recovery, and currently its largest employer, is a lumber company that refused to die when its mill burned to the ground in 1992. Bob Miller is a member of the 4th generation of Frank Miller Lumber. He's now in charge of business development for the growing operation.
We specialize in quarter-sawn hardwood lumber. On a daily basis, we'll consume 28 semi-loads of logs.
On New Year's Day, 1992, tragedy struck. The mill was totally destroyed by a fire. Bob was just returning to the company after graduating from Purdue with a degree in forest products. Should you have thought about moving closer to your suppliers? Did the family think about that?
The family did think about it. We knew that we could have saved a lot of money, but we made a commitment to the community and to the employees.
Frank Miller Lumber Company recommitted to our community when it had been more profitable to move closer to their suppliers. We treasure that type of loyalty.
Meet Ghislain Moret, chocolatier and pastry chef extraordinaire. A native of Quebec, Ghislain has served as the head chef for the Canadian delegations in New York and London, and has worked in many first-class restaurants and hotels.
I used to work in New York City, and I decided to come back to America, and I met my wife. I didn't really want to start a restaurant, so I said I can do chocolate and just ship it, just have a website and just ship it to anybody. So that's how we started.
And very creative he is, from buttery croissants to cakes that resemble miniature sculptures. Then there are the chocolates, hand-brushed color on the dense dark chocolate. Many people order from the website.
Due to the great quality of life that we have here, we've attracted many talented newcomers, like Dick and Linda Wilcox. Uniflex Relay Systems produce computerized relays for theater and church pipe organs.
Dick has a unique skill set. He knows computers, he designs software and hardware, and he's a musician. We just needed a lot of space for Dick to test his ongoing improvements to the computerized organ relay system, and we needed a good post office. We ship to customers all over the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the Netherlands, and the UK. We have made more friends here in Union City than we could have ever imagined. Union City has been very, very good to us and very welcoming.
Linda has also strengthened the community justice system by serving as city court judge. Another facet of our community's growth is to reach out to our youth. Jeff Groh is the pastor of the Wesley United Methodist Church and the chaplain for the police and fire department.
So about a year ago, the chief of police approached me about being the chaplain for the police department. The city and the church partnered together to send me to New Jersey to get my certification. And while out there, we ran across the youth guidance program where they've decided that the juveniles, instead of just a deterrent for getting in trouble with the law, they needed a rehabilitation program. And so we started here in Union City the youth guidance program where when a student gets in trouble with the law, that they can come to the church instead of the juvenile probation system. We got the program approved from the county prosecutor, and the prosecutor wants to use this program as a pilot program for Randolph County. In a year's time, we've seen 12 students graduate our program. We've seen families come to be a part of the faith-based community, and we've seen behavior change. We've seen great success in the last year.
Kobe Wells is the police chief and director of emergency services for Union City. He coaches youth baseball and football.
The school resource program started about a year and a half ago. We were looking at a way to get into the schools and reach out to the children. It's branched out into also creating a new program at the school for criminal justice for the high school, and it's also branched out into our DARE program. So we've had several programs branch off of that. And it's been a really big advantage for us because kids come up and talk to us, and we're not just, around town in uniforms and stuff like that. it's spread throughout the county. So now just about every county high school is going to have a school resource officer it's in the school all the time teaching kids about criminal justice and drug use and you know, things like that. So we're really excited with the collaboration between the school, police department, and the city in general. So it's been a really great time for us.
Providing housing to attract young people to our community is also a priority.
We've done a neighborhood stabilization program where we built 4 houses and we renovated a couple of houses. And so those are for low to moderate income folks. We had a number of people that are just starting out. We were able to get them inside a house that they normally wouldn't be able to afford because of the program. This is one of the renovated homes that we did with the neighborhood stabilization program. It's an 1890s built home and it has a lot of the classic woodwork within it. We picked it up as a foreclosure, so we didn't want to see anything happen to it, and we were fortunate to be able to get it off of foreclosure and then renovate that through the neighborhood stabilization program.
Compassion and quality of life issues walk hand in hand. Good care of our neighbors includes care for our pets. Shelley King is the director of Paws, which is an animal rescue shelter.
Well, about 6 years ago, a group of us noticed that there was a high number of stray dogs in Union City. And so we decided that we needed to do something about it. And this just goes to show what a small group of people can do when you have a community behind you. The name of our facility is Paws Animal Rescue and Shelter. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We are a no-kill shelter. So what that means basically is any dog that comes here has our promise that they are going to stay here until we find a wonderful home for them. We started basically with $0, and thanks to the graciousness of our community, city leaders, and the community itself, we raised money to be able to build this beautiful facility. But we're all volunteer. There's absolutely no paid staff here, and it's just a community-run facility.
Actually, Union City has seen tremendous change over the last couple of years. Just a few years back, the structure you see behind me, I started what was called a downtown makeover a few years ago, and where over 150 Union City citizens came to the streets on their own time, on their own dime, to volunteer their efforts to help clean up the downtown and give it a makeover. We took down the facade and actually revealed a beautiful brick structure behind, but also the windows and the true character of what the building once was. And when we took that off, it all of a sudden spawned ideas of what this building could be. That actually began a complete makeover that started from a volunteer effort and now houses our art hub. And that's what's possible when the citizens of Union City come together and realize what is possible in this community with just a little old-fashioned elbow grease, some good American can-do spirit. And that's what we can achieve, and the sky's the limit.
What you see immediately behind me is the Kirschbaum building, now the Antique Mall for Union City. It was an outgrowth of the project to restore the depot as a home for the Art Association of Randolph County. Every building that preservation has worked on is now occupied. The building that we're looking at behind us is the former C.E. Wright building. That's the next project as a combined project with preservation and the Art Association, because preservation is funding a mural now on the Ohio side like the one on the Indiana side to welcome people to Union City. This is another project of the Preservation Society to save old buildings. We came up with the pop-ups for Union City, and so as a result we have Carol Strock Wasson Studio and an antique business right next door. The building that we're looking at immediately behind me is the 207 East Elm, the most recent completed project of Preservation Society. It completes our mission to combine both the arts and antiques as a destination for Union City.
It really began for me when they started opening up the old buildings to businesses that wanted to expand, and I needed a new studio. My first thought was, I'm going to have a studio up here and maybe I'll have a few classes. Well, it just exploded, and I've got classes twice a week. I've set up for workshops of well-known artists to come here and do workshops. So there's a lot of people that are walking around thinking about art who have never thought about it before. Now, since we've had this big explosion of art in the community, everybody is talking about art and wanting to be involved in it.
There were a bunch of us from Muncie and everywhere taking classes at Carol Strock Lawson's studio. We started producing all this art. We thought, what are we going to do with all this framed artwork? Let's start a co-op. We approached the mayor, we got this building, knocked a wall out, cleaned it up. We were open in not very many weeks, and now we have artists from everywhere, and the artists have just blossomed. It's just like we've planted a garden, and here came the daisies and the hyacinths and all of the beautiful flowers, because I had no idea we had this many artists in one form or another buried in this community. And it all just kind of exploded right up out of the earth. When we opened, people said, I want to come in, I want to come in. And it's amazing what this little store has been able to do to help the town take off on that project, and we have so much fun.
We are definitely seeing the spirits up, I think as high as it's been since I can remember. Kids are now, we've got workforce initiatives in place where kids don't have to make the statement that I made now. They can come back here and get jobs, they can come back here and work, they can go to college and get educated, and they see that they can raise a family here. So there's no question the spirit is lifted, and again, Stellar would take that to the next level.
Join the movement, a phrase that we had coined approximately 6 years ago. The key to our success and the growth of our community is having all the pieces of the puzzle put together. We have the people, we have the plans, and we have the power. And now it's our time. Join the movement.